Yeah. But it took, like... Now the point is I want you to use vertical space this time. I'll stay on the ground and I want you to jump. Wherever you are. See the difference? Do you see the difference? No, just say what you see, right? It was closer to a 50-50 when I jumped and you stayed on the ground. But when you jumped and I stayed on the ground, it wasn't a contest, right? Let's just be honest, right? Let's just be... Yeah. Now, we'll both jump. Right, go. So when we're both jumping, it just comes down to who's got better aim and better tracking. So this is what I mean. When your opponent begins using vertical space against you, if you can use vertical space well as well, you can use it to your advantage. Now, I'll show you an example of how to use vertical space when your opponent doesn't, right? So, go stand down here maybe. And we're going to engage in a second, right? You ready? So, we're just going to engage now. So before I killed you, I changed my elevation 4 times. So come here and I'll show you. Just come here and I'll show you what I meant. But it's good to point it out, right? So elevation 1, 2, 3, 4. And then re-engage from back elevation 1 again, right? And that entire time I took 2 shots on you as well, right? That entire time you haven't changed your elevation, so as long as I have a rough idea where you are off radar and off of target tracking, my aim should be true. But you're like, Jesus, is he on the gazebo? Is he under the gazebo? Did he go down the stairs? Your radar doesn't give you enough information, right? So that's an example of, like, you know, vertical space used well when your opponent stays in. So, if you use vertical space and your opponent doesn't, you have to use it well. If you use it well, it wins you the gunfight. If you use it poorly, it loses you the gunfight. Do you kind of get what I mean? And that's why I tell a lot of new players, just don't worry about it for now. Get the basics correct after a few weeks of practice and then start incorporating harder things like vertical movement. Like, when you jumped at me through the air. Yeah, but when you just jumped at me through the air, it was slaughter, right? So that's, and if I just jumped straight at you through the air as well, you'd probably win as well. Like, if I just jumped at you like this with hand cannon fight, right, you'd win, okay? Unless I get lucky. So that's just bad vertical space. Like, you get me? That's just using vertical space for the sake of, oh, somebody told me vertical space is good, I'll use it. Which a lot of players do, right? They don't understand why it's good or how it can be good. So, avoid doing it just for the sake of doing it. Try to be smart about it, like. So, like, one of the best things that vertical spacing does is that it creates cover where there isn't cover. Like, so, how can I, like, what's a good example of that? The best example will probably be over here. Just follow me. Yeah. Trying to find a clear-cut example. Oh yeah, like, yeah, here, right? This would be the reverse. So go stand over here. Go stand over there as if we're shooting. Now just ignore the layout of the map. Pretend this could be any section on any map, right? And look at me, and we're shooting. Start shooting me. That's me using vertical space and going down, and then coming back up, right? Re-engaging. So, and now shoot at me down here. Shoot at me down here. Shoot at me down here. Yeah. And then I jump back up. I'm actually creating cover as I move. Do you get me? I'm using the vertical space to, like, create artificial cover. Does that make sense what I mean by that? Like, as in where I'm moving, there's technically no cover in front of me, but because I'm moving through different height elevations, the terrain itself is acting as cover until you can readjust your aim. So that's another good use for it. And smoking you is fun. Bye. Oh, how did I not kill you?
5 minutes remain. Heavy ammo available.
And it's similar enough with sidearms, right? Equip a sidearm. In fact, it's almost the exact same with sidearms because they're so. You have a sidearm on anyway, do you? Do you have a sidearm and ammo on? Okay. So this time we're going to engage, right? And I'll jump and you won't, right? So you ready? Tell me when you're ready. So again, a trade. And that's the exact same thing that happened with hand cannons, right? So if you think of it, right, me jumping but not using vertical space, all I'm doing is making myself easier to hit and reducing my overall aim, right? So if you think about it, if I am the stronger player, well, all I'm doing there is equalizing our skill gap. I'm removing my skill advantage that I have in being a better shot, right? By reducing my own aim and making myself easier to hit. So why would I jump in a straight line at you? Now, if I wanted to use vertical space cleverly, this is what I would do. This is what I do a lot. Like, so come here. So stand where you are. No, let's go stand back over there. So vertical space is good when you want to create angles, right? So things like this. So start shooting me. Just getting that angle before you, right? Even if it's only one bullet of a difference, it wins the gunfight, right? That's where it's good as well. But yeah, like I said, the big things about vertical spacing are don't use it for the sake of using it. Use it where there's actually advantage to using it. Like I showed you with the gazebo and the wall and the 4 different elevations there. And with sidearms, it's very similar to hand cannons, right? So you can incorporate both of it. Like, one thing about jumping, aim lower than you normally would. So like here, I'm going to aim at your chest. Okay. Because as you're falling, the bullets travel up. That's hard to explain. But well, yeah, with hand cannons, it's reasonably accurate to just aim for like high chest area. Like. So there, even though you're using a sidearm and we're in sidearm range, I win with the hand cannon just because I have better tracking in the air, you know. So if both players are jumping through the air, it's almost like you're still on the ground because it just comes down to who's got better shots, right? So, and if you jump and they don't, and you jump badly, you lose. But if you use vertical spacing and they don't, and you use it well, you win. So did you get me? Like, the easiest way, I know I'm repeating myself, but the easiest way to think of vertical spacing is that it increases the complexity of the gunfight. So if you use it poorly, you're losing yourself the gunfight. If you use it well, you're winning yourself the gunfight. That make a bit of sense? Cool. Right, I'm gonna jump off anyway, but hopefully that little 2 minutes there was helpful. Right.